Queenin is at a press briefing as organized by the Bureau, is joining us right now via phone. George, what exactly is the Bureau expected to contribute to these investigations?
Thank you so much, Marina. Good afternoon. And so like you rightly mentioned, the Bureau actually engaged the media today, and the deliberations really centered on the fact that investigations into the Z9 helicopter crash has actually commenced. And the announcement, if you look at the address, it captured the Bureau as part of the civil aviation, but the Bureau says they are autonomous, they work on their own. And so whatever their support will be is that they're going to offer some sort of expert advice to the board. And so that's exactly what they're going to do. So actually that was addressed by the commissioner, and so we can hear from him.
When they issued a statement yesterday, were described as as part of Ghana civil aviation. AIB, yes, we are also in the aviation industry, but we are an autonomous and independent organization. We are not part of Ghana civil aviation because we are to investigate what they do, and so we are an autonomous and a separate institution. Now, to answer your question, as I said earlier, we don't investigate military aircrafts. And this incident that happened, like I said, we will only do that when we have an approval by the sector minister. And so this particular one, AIB Ghana is part of the investigation because we've been we've been invited to use our expertise. And so I have, let me say, task my investigating team led by Captain Forjoe, a very experienced retired pilot and a high level, very experienced engineer. They, Mr. Engineer Ewusi, they are part of the investigation, and so AIB is fully represented.
Returning to you, because you asked him how this incident must change national policy on aviation incident. What exactly did he tell you?
Okay, so Marina, so this incident actually presents some sort of need to actually bring some sort of reform. But according to the commissioner, their recommendations is what is really going to, tell whether we should have some reform. But there's some sort of caution to the general public because there are people who really want the report, done quickly. But according to an investigator and who is also a retired pilot, Captain Forjoe, he says Ghanaians should be rest assured that when the report comes out, it will be free and fair. But with these very policies or reforms, it's going to be based on the recommendations that they come out from this very investigation. He also spoke on this very issue.
When an accident occurs and we go ahead to do our investigations, after the investigation, we do recommendations, and these recommendations, as I said, are not to apportion blames or for any criminal liabilities. We do that so that we correct, so that we don't have any future occurrences, and that is why you don't often see aircraft accidents. They are flying every minute in Ghana, but because of the recommendations that we do, that is why they correct all the mistakes that might have happened. Then that is where we don't have we don't incur, or we don't happen to see more accidents happening. And so when we finish with our investigation and we give the recommendation, we follow up to make sure that they implement it. Because the reason why we do the investigation is to correct whatever might have happened. And so we follow religiously to make sure that these things are implemented.
And that's the Bureau Chief speaking there. George, thank you very much for those updates. That's my colleague George Queenin, and we're staying on this particular subject matter. August said that Black Wednesday. On the back of today's press briefing, George had an up close with the Commissioner of the Aircraft Accident and Investigations Bureau, John Wumborti, and here's the full details of their conversation.
A very good afternoon. My name is George Queenin, and we are coming to you live from the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau, that's AIB Ghana. And so the recent F9 helicopter crash has actually put a spotlight on that very bureau. So we are here with the Commissioner, John Wumborti, to really update us on their mandate and their responsibilities, and also what role they are playing in this investigation into the helicopter crash.
We don't investigate military aircrafts until we get approval from the sector minister. When we get approval from the sector minister, it's not as if we are supposed to go and lead the investigation. All over the world, nobody, it is only the military that does their own investigation. The military does their own investigation. And so we don't do it. But then, when they invite us to use our expertise, when the military invites us to use our expertise, we join them to do investigation, but we don't lead the investigation. Because of our expertise, they also have investigators among them, and so they do them. But anytime there's the need, there's an incident, then they invite AIB to support them in the investigation, and that is where you need the minister's approval to do that. This has been the questions wherever you go. Say, we don't have any job because how many times will you have accidents in Ghana? You see, what we do is that it is because we do a lot of safety protocols behind the scene. That is why we don't have these accidents happening. And actually, this current administration, my target is that I want to do more of the prevention. And in doing preventions, you have to collaborate a lot with the stakeholders. And that is what we are currently doing. So that when you do more of the prevention, you will not see accident happening. No, we collaborate very well with the military, very, very, very well with the military. And they are very nice people and very professional. And so when there's the need or any time there's any incident, they invite us. They always invite us, and we go to support. The main purpose of accidents investigation is to prevent future occurrences. And to prevent future occurrences, after the investigation, you do what recommendations. And out of this recommendation, when there's the need for reforms, then you do those reforms. But until then, you cannot just say we need reform because an accident happened. You wait until the investigations are done. When the investigations are carried out, then you then look at the reforms that may come or you need to take. It's not